Chapter 6. Put yourselves under covert, you children of Benjamin, away from the midst of Jerusalem, and blow the horn in Tekoa, and set up the signal on Bethkarim, for evil looketh forth from the north, and great destruction. The comely and the delicate one, the daughter of Zion, will I cut off. Shepherds with their flocks come unto her, they pitch their tents against her round about. They feed bare every one what is nigh at hand. Prepare you war against her. Arise, and let us go up at noon. Woe unto us, for the day declineth, for the shadows of the evening are stretched out. Arise, and let us go up by night, and let us destroy her palaces. For thus hath the Lord of hosts said, Hew you down her trees, and cast up a mound against Jerusalem. This is a city to be punished. Everywhere there is oppression in the midst of her. As a cistern welleth with her waters, so she welleth with her wickedness. Violence and spoil is heard in her. Before me continually is sickness and wounds. Be you corrected, O Jerusalem, lest my soul be alienated from you, lest I make you desolate, a land not inhabited. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall thoroughly glean as a vine the remnant of Israel. Turn again your hand as a grape gatherer upon the shoots. To whom shall I speak and give warning, that they may hear? Behold, their ear is dull, and they cannot attend. Behold, the word of the Lord is become unto them a reproach, that they have no delight in it. Therefore I am full of the fury of the Lord. I am weary with holding in. Pour it upon the babes in the street, and upon the assembly of young men together. For even the husband with the wife shall be taken, the aged with him that is full of days. And their houses shall be turned unto others, their fields and their wives together. For I will stretch out my hand upon the inhabitants of the land, saith the Lord. For from the least of them even unto the greatest of them, every one is greedy for gain. And from the prophet even unto the priest, every one dealeth falsely. They have healed also the hurt of my people lightly, saying, Peace, peace, when there is no peace. They shall be put to shame because they have committed abominations. Yes, they are not at all ashamed, neither know they how to blush. Therefore they shall fall among them that fall. At the time that I punish them they shall stumble, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, stand you in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way, and walk therein? You shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. And I set watchmen over you. Attend to the sound of the horn. But they said, we will not attend. Therefore hear, you nations, and know, O congregation, what is against them. Hear, O earth. Behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not attended unto my words. And as for my teaching, they have rejected it. To what purpose is it to me, the frankincense that cometh from Sheba, and the sweet cane from a far country? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices pleasing unto me. Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall stumble against them, the neighbor and his friend, and they shall perish. Thus saith the Lord, behold, a people comes from the north country, and a great nation shall be roused from the uttermost parts of the earth. They lay hold on the bow and the spear. They are cruel and have no compassion. Their voice is like the roaring sea, and they ride upon horses, set in array as a man of war against you, O daughter of Zion. We have heard the fame thereof. Our hands wax feeble. Anguish hath taken hold of us, and pain as a woman in travail. Go not forth into the field, nor walk by the way, for there is the sword of the enemy, and terror on every side. O daughter of my people, gird you with sackcloth, and wallow yourselves in ashes. Make you mourning as for an only son, most bitter lamentation, for the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us. I have made you a tower and a fortress among my people, that you mayest know and try their way. They are all grievous revolters, going about with slanderers. They are brass and iron. They all of them deal corruptly. The bellows blow fiercely. The lead is consumed of the fire. In vain doth the founder refine, for the wicked are not separated. Refuge silver shall men call them, because the Lord hath rejected them. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. Now, yesterday we were running around trying to find somebody in the broad places, somebody that has little understanding, somebody that's doing correctly, but there was nobody to be found. We see that the Lord has brought everybody in error, even error of his law and error of his understanding, as Jeremiah is declaring. See, God has been telling the prophets from the beginning, using similitudes to explain these things, to show us. They swear to God, or they got their face towards God, their backs are to God. In other words, they are going around doing everything that's wrong, and think they can somehow, just because they look towards God, they can get forgiveness. But we find out, see, this don't work. You have to keep the law. The law has to be kept in the flesh. The law has to be kept in the spirit in order for us to be like one, even with the word, the law being kept. Because God has commanded now that the law be kept. This is a covenant that cannot be broken. And the people have been greatly in error. The people have been taught to go in error. The prophets had been declaring this. There's no hiding this fact. If you read anything at all and you have any understanding, you'll understand that the teachers, these ones who teach the Word of God, have caused great error in the earth. And that's what we're talking about. And when we end the last chapter, that's exactly where we're at. See, the prophets prophesying the service of falsehood. And that's the main message, because idolatry is all over the earth. And God has brought the whole earth under this so he could show himself magnificent. See, God said, I'm going to do this. And it's exactly what he's done. We're going to pick this up in verse 1. Put yourselves under covert, you children of Benjamin, away from the midst of Jerusalem, and blow the horn in Tekoa, and set up a signal in Beth-Karim, for evil looketh forth from the north, and great destruction. Put yourselves under covert, get into hiding. See, go find you a place to hide, you children of Benjamin. Benjamin means my right hand, in my right hand, and that is the work. The right hand represents the work, even. And what they were was, see, Benjamin and the line of Benjamin and Judah fell right on Jerusalem. And the fields outside of the city there were basically Benjamin's land, and that was the line. And that's what we're talking about here. Those that are in the field, even around Jerusalem, blow you the horn in Tekoa. Tekoa was this place of warning. It was the city of warning. And it actually means the fortress of the trumpet. This place of the trumpet, even where it's withheld, and it's made for the signal. Set up a signal on Beth-Karim. Beth-Karim is the house of wine, or the house possibly of the effects of wine, the house of drunkenness, the house of wine and drunkenness. For evil looketh forth from the north. Why? God's going to bring punishment. And from the north is always where it comes from. For this is where God stores his wrath. This is where God stores all his treasures, even great destruction. 2. The comely and delicate one, the daughter of Zion, will I cut off. And this one, who we've been talking about, has the daughter of Zion. Zion is that place within Jerusalem, that even where this is the Levitical portion of Jerusalem. The daughter thereof is Jerusalem itself, because it's the city that comes from this Levitical place with the teachings of. See, this is where the law come forth from, to go out to the people. 3. Shepherds with their flocks come unto her. They pitch their tents against her round about. They feed bare every one what is nigh at hand. And that's why you've been sent into covert, because God is sending shepherds now. These shepherds are the ones who bring their flocks, and they've come to her, and they've pitched their tents round about her, and they feed bare every one what is nigh at hand. And they're letting their sheep eat everything up. See, and this would be the fields that surround. And this represents all the goodly land around Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is that place of peaceful teaching, see. And these shepherds, even these that are the shepherds who are sent to devour, prepare ye war against her, arise, and let us go up at noon. Woe unto us, for the day declineth, for the shadows of evening are stretched out. Understanding is fleeing, and darkness is coming. And they're preparing war against this place of peaceful teachings. Even, as we'll find, they're going to prepare, and they're going to hew the trees down and prepare a rampart or a mound to go up over the walls at noon. And noon is when the sun's shining straight down. See, there's no shadows. There's no shadows at that time. And the truth is made known. 5, arise and let us go up by night, and let us destroy her palaces. Let us go up through the darkness and destroy her palaces. And that's what they do, see. And at night, this is the darkness. And they come up through the darkness. See, they've entered in through darkness, even false teachings, running their mouths, teaching things that don't belong. 6, for thus hath the Lord of hosts said, hew you down her trees, and cast up a mound against Jerusalem. This is a city to be punished. Everywhere there is oppression in the midst of her. So God, see, is punishing these cities. God is punishing this city of Jerusalem, this city of peaceful teachings. This is what was going on then. This is what's going on now. Hew you down her trees. These trees are the mighty ones that stand about. Oh, they think they got knowledge. They think they got these great understandings. And cast up a mound against Jerusalem. Even cast up a mound using now these trees to build the earth there around. Build a ramp that goes right up over the wall into the city to be punished. Everywhere there is oppression in the midst of her. God is bringing the punishment on. God has called the enemy in. God is punishing. 7. As a cistern welleth with her waters, so she welleth with her wickedness. Violence and spoil is in her. Before me continually is the sickness and wounds. And this is why she's being punished. As we found out already, why is she being punished? Because they've turned from the law of God. The teachers, the ones who have knowledge and had understanding, teaching for gain, raising up idols, imputing things. It's documented, 17th chapter of 2 Kings. And this is what was going on, see. And it was kept going on, and God had finally reached till he'd had enough. See, and we can read all 2 Kings. This is what, and all the Kings. This is what was going on. 8, be you corrected, O Jerusalem, lest my soul be alienated from you, lest I make you desolate, a land not inhabited. Be you corrected. Listen, receive correction, O Jerusalem, a place of peaceful teachings. Listen and hear, lest God alienate himself from you and make you desolate, not inhabited, just like he did. And we find out this is what God does. See, God works in judgment. God shows himself magnificent through his judgment, declaring, accomplishing. 9, thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall thoroughly glean as a vine the remnant of Israel. Turn again your hand as a grape gatherer upon the shoots. God's declared it. God has said it. And this is what happens, see. They shall thoroughly glean as a vine. Just like the vine, those who come through and they pick the fruit off of it, now the grape gleaners have come, and they'll go through and glean the grapes. See, these are the gleaners. God has sent the gleaners now among the vines, and there will not be a grape left. God says, turn again your hands, the grape gatherer, as a grape gatherer upon the shoots. And we're going to find out when it's done, there's just the stalk left, because God is going to cut it down and hew it down. 10, to whom shall I speak and give warning that they may hear? Behold, their ears dull, and they cannot attend. Behold, the word of the Lord is become unto them a reproach. They have no delight in it. To whom can I speak and give warning? Who will listen? Who wants to hear this? Their ear is dull. They've made it dull. They cannot attend. They won't listen. Why? Because God has become unto you a reproach, and you have no delight in it. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to listen to it. We'll find out, see. Rejecting the teachings of God, rejecting the law that his servant give you. 11. Therefore I am full of fury of the Lord. I am weary with holding in. Pour it out upon the babes and in the street, and upon the assembly of young men together. For even the husband with his wife shall be taken, the aged with him that is full of days. And I am full of the fury of the Lord. Look what they've done. Look what they've done. They've made a mockery. They've done the same thing. It's like a circle going around. Nobody can get out of this. The ignorance of men just keeps prevailing. God's doing this. God is punishing. God is doing this unto all the earth, for they have turned from the law of God. And I'm weary with holding in. Pour it out upon the babes in the street. Let everybody know. Pour it out. Let the whole world understand this. And upon the assembly of the young men, those that ain't got no understanding, they haven't received understanding. Oh, they think they know everything. But see, they ain't got enough experience to know anything. For even the husband and the wife shall be taken. The husband and the wife. This one who makes the marriage, this one, this teaching, and this wife, this one he goes into, shall be taken. The aged with him that is full of days. And this really should say, and him that is aged and full of days, because that's what we're talking about. This old man, even this one who's full of understanding, this little understanding. This is the days. It represents a smaller amount of understanding than a year. See, you can get knowledge in one day, and then what could you, if you could get that much in one day, how much could you get in a year of days? See, that's how much understanding one day has. 12. And their houses shall be turned unto others, and their fields and their wives together, for I will stretch out my hand upon the inhabitants. For I will stretch out my hand upon the inhabitants of the land, saith the Lord. And this is what happens when you disobey God's law. Your houses are turned over to others. Sooner or later, the transgressors reach their full, and others come in and inhabit it. Remember the story of Jericho? This is probably what the prophets were crying in Jericho sometime before the children of Israel came there. It's something that happens. We'll find that this ain't the first time around. 13. For from the least of them, even unto the greatest of them, every one is greedy for their gain. And from the prophet even unto the priest, every one deals falsely. Sound familiar? The prophet unto the priest, every one deals falsely. They have no understanding, teaching not the law of God, being made an example of. Everyone's greedy after their own gain, wanting to, everybody wants to be rich, but nobody wants to correct the problem. 14, for they have healed also the hurt of my people lightly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. And we'll find out, see, this is what the prophets were prophesying then. More and more we get into Jeremiah. Well, see, that's what the prophets were prophesying at that time. Peace, peace. Oh, there'll be peace. There's going to be great peace. There is no peace. There is no peace. Where's the peace? Show me the peace. You're liars and deceivers, see, and you make war continually. 15, they shall be put to shame because they have committed abominations. Yes, they are not at all ashamed, neither know they how to blush. Therefore they shall fall among them that fall. At the time that I punish them, they shall stumble, saith the Lord. That's why, see, because you teach peace, peace. There is no peace. You lie. You pervert every word of God. Everything. Teaching for your own gain. Pulling your portion out. Making sure you get your fat portion. See, that's who we're talking to. All these rulers, all these ones that do this, and they pervert. That's what was going on then. It's what's going on now. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change until you change it. See, make yourself obedient to the law of God. Start doing that which is right. Make yourself where you don't need these. Turn away, go away from them and towards God. God said turn. They can't even show their shame. They don't know how to blush. See, they've committed abominations and they're not ashamed. God punishes. God knows the soul. God knows who you are, and He had punished you already accordingly. Pray to the Lord that He turn you. See, because at the time that I punish them, they shall stumble. They shall stumble. What? They think they're in a path that's right. They think they're in a path of correction. They don't know the whole time they've been laying on their back asleep. 16, thus saith the Lord, stand you in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way? And walk therein, and you shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. Thus saith the Lord, stand up, look around, and see. Ask for the old ways, ask for the old paths. Give me the law, return me to the law. Where's the good way gone? Where's these teachings of the law and these teachings that kept us under the law so that we would go in the good way and walk therein? Why does nobody teach these things? There's no gain in it. There's nothing in it. See, nobody wants to hear this. Nobody wants to know it. The Word of God's like a reproach. You hate it. That's what God said. God's not a liar. God begged you to come back. But they said, we will not walk therein. We will not go that way. We will make us another way. We will find another way. It didn't work then, and it ain't going to work today. 17. And I set watchmen over you. Attend you to the sound of the horn. But they said, we will not attend. Warners, people want the watchmen, those who stood up and blowed the horn, and said, hey, don't listen, don't go this way. Return unto the law of God. But they would not listen. 18. Therefore hear, you nations, and know, O congregation, what is against them. They'll be punished. They'll be punished greatly. Hear, you nations, all the people, everybody. At that time we were talking about all the nations of Israel and the congregation of it. Today we're talking to all the world and the congregation of God, who has the law of God printed on their heart, who is being called into this obedience, this understanding that this is the way. 19. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not attended unto my words, and as for my teaching, they have rejected it. Give an ear, listen up, O earth, everybody. Behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts. And what was the fruit of the thoughts? To lay snare for you. See, that was the fruit of their thoughts. They was going to lay a snare, lay a trap, make them a little place where they could fleece the sheep when they came in, because they have not attended to my words. And as for my teaching, they rejected it. See, that's what got them here. That's what got them to this place. Made evident. The fat seat made known. See, sooner or later the transgressors reach their full. Sooner or later, it all comes about. Listen. Do I hear the horn? 20. To what purpose is it to me, the frankincense that cometh from Shiva, the sweet cane from a far country? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices pleasing unto me. What purpose is all this stuff to God? What good does it do to offer up incense? This sweet odor, these prayers going up from Shiva. Shiva, that's 7 here. We're using Shiva as the furthermost southern extremity. That even that work, once again. What good is it to bring these sweet canes from a far country? What good are they? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices pleasing unto me. They do no good when they're offered up in ignorance, when they're not brought forth with understanding. When you do this thing and impute it, There's no pleasure in this to God. Plus, here's another thing. These things have to be done exactly according to the law. Exactly according to the law. In no other way are they acceptable. They're polluted. They become disgusting unto God. 21. Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and their fathers, and the sons together shall stumble. Against them, the neighbor and his friend, and they shall perish. What's God going to do? Lay stumbling blocks before this people, the fathers and the sons together, they shall stumble against them. Everybody, neighbor and his friend, they all shall perish. God did it. God done this. These stumbling blocks, they're idolatry. It's idolatry. These stumbling blocks, these ankle breakers, they got them laying all over the ground. What are they? These words they speak that have no understanding. They go forth, they fall on the ground. They walk around stumbling, staggering around on them, made drunk. 22. Thus saith the Lord, Behold, a people comes from the north country, and a great nation shall be roused from the uttermost parts of the earth. God's bringing judgment. See, God's bringing judgment. Behold, a people come from the north country. North country down from the treasuries of God. This is going to be destruction. It's not a good thing. A great nation shall be roused from the uttermost parts of the earth. See, God's bringing judgment. Once again. 23. They lay hold on the bow and the spear. They are cruel and have no compassion. Their voice is like the roaring sea, and they ride upon horses set in array, as a man for war against you, O daughter of Zion. Against you, Jerusalem. That's who the daughter of Zion is. This place that comes, this understanding that comes, see, this is what Jerusalem represents, these peaceful teachings. And they've laid hold on the bow and the spear. They've come to destroy, and they're cruel. This bow, that shoots forth the arrow, these truths. The spear, that which thrown from the hand, even with great strength. And they're cruel. Riding upon horses, this is in strength. So riding upon strength, like a roaring sea. Their voice is like a roaring sea, like many waters, because it's a multitudes of people. And they're set in array, like a man of war. And that's what it's being used for. It's like an army come down for punishment and destruction against who? Jerusalem. This place of peaceful teachings. It's been used as an example, see. We have heard the fame thereof. Our hands wax feeble. Anguish hath taken hold of us, and pain, as of a woman in travail. And that's what was going on when Rabshakeh come down. We remember Rabshakeh. This is a very similar situation. The armies are camped out around the city, and everybody within the city are made feeble. They can't fight against this. Anguish has taken hold. They know the end has come. Pain as a woman in travail. Just like a woman in labor, great pain and anguish. This is the anguish that's being related to anyway. There's no birth here. 25. Go not forth into the field, nor walk by the way. For there is the sword of the enemy, and terror on every side. Don't go. There's no sense in trying to go out of the city. Go into the field. Or walk by the way. Try to go out through the paths. There's the sword and the enemy. See, as soon as you try to go out of the city, there they wait for you there. There's the enemies within the city, the enemies without the city. It's the enemy within the city that's brought the enemy without the city. See, for the teachings of these men have led astray. They've brought the city into sin. Now God has sent all the earth into punishment against them. This is what went on then. This is what's going to go on today. 26. O daughter of my people, gird you with sackcloth, and wallow yourself in ashes. Make you mourning as for an only son. Most bitter lamentation, for the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us. O daughter of my people, O daughter, this one who is born, even from her mother, that one that was taken in the marriage of understanding, gird you with the sackcloth, gird you up, and wallow yourself in ashes. Put ashes on your head and make you mourning. Cry as for an only son, as if you just lost your only son. Most bitter lamentation, great mourning, for the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us. And this is what happens. See, they all happy and joyful, dancing around the fire till the moment the servant come back down. Then everything got quiet. 27. I have made you a tower and a fortress among my people, that you mayest know and try their way. That's what Jerusalem was, see? A tower. A fortress among my people. What happened to Israel? Oh, they went into captivity. Remember, they were scattered out. The Syrians conquered them. What happened to Judah? Well, most of the nations had done been taken away and carried off. We'll find that out when we get to Ezekiel. Jehoiachin. They went with him. See, but now Jerusalem, God's fighting for, trying to show you. Turn now. Even then, if they would have turned, see, God, with their whole heart, see, God would have saved them. 28. They are all grievous revolters, going about with slanderers. They are brass and iron. They all of them deal corruptly. And that's what's going on today. All are grievous revolters. They've all turned against the law of God. They've all went against the law of God, breaking it continually. Going about with slanderers, even those that are using words against God. They are brass and iron. Brass and iron is just cold darkness and rule. And all of them deal corruptly. And they are corrupt. They're corrupt in every one. They always are the rich. They always are the great. I have got nothing against rich. I've got nothing against great. See if it's used correctly. But when we use it to cause harm into all the world, teaching ignorance continually, making laws of ignorance, this is what happens. This is what society gets you when you have no understanding. 29. The bellows blow fiercely. The lead is consumed of the fire. In vain doth the founder refine, for the wicked are not separated. The bellows blow fiercely. And what this is we have somebody refining metals, and these bellows is a thing that you stroke up and down, and it blows air into the fire. And what this does is heats the fire up. The fire is being heated up fiercely now with great heat, and the lead is consumed of the fire. And it's getting so hot now, this lead is just filth. It's that which cometh from the dirt. It's the dirt found within these metals, this ore that is in the furnace, see, and the fire's being stroked upon it, so we can melt it out and we can get out the gold, these metals that are within. But this lead is the filth. The fire's so hot now, the filth is just being burned away in the fire. In vain doth the founder refine, though. See, in vain does he refine. For the wicked are not being separated. So he's stroking the fire, but see, it ain't doing no good. The dross is not being separated from the gold. And that's what the wicked are. See, there's no separation. Why? Well, they're teaching for gain. They're teaching for money. And the wickedness remains in the earth. That's why. See, why does the wickedness remain, Lord, though we turn? For you turn in vain, not turning unto the Lord. 30. Refuge silver shall men call them, because the Lord hath rejected them. Refuge silver. This silver that's refused. It's refused silver, see. It's no good. It's no good. Why? It's got too much dross in it. It ain't silver. That's verily ore. See, that silver's all nasty. It's got a bunch of junk mixed in it. And that's what men's going to call them, see. And what is this junk? This is the filth, the dirt they've left mingled in. They don't know what they're doing. They heat the fire up, but they don't know how to extract the ore. They don't know how to separate the gold out. Because, see, that's God's job. The gold belonged to the Lord. See. And those are those that understand the law. Those that will give ear. Those that will listen. Those that will receive knowledge, that will receive understanding, that will receive warning. See, that's who they are. The gold. So turn and return. Let's move on to chapter 7.